I'm Steve Pearson, president of Quest Applied Technologies in beautiful Antioch, Illinois. The purpose of this video is to show you how to assemble the all-new original OneDerBrew system. But before that, I want to let you know who we are so you understand why we can do this and how we can do this. I am a graduate of University of Illinois in biomedical engineering and mechanical engineering. I worked for Baxter for a number of years, developing products before I started this company. We've manufactured literally thousands of different products, from all plastic wheelchairs to literature holders to shampoo caps, promotional products. We've manufactured probably most of the trucks on the road have a steering wheel where we built the mold for that. If you go into any BP gas station worldwide and look at their literature holders that are taped to the outside of the automotive pumps, this part will be there, and I built the molds for that. We make high-end, high-quality speaker horns for a company in Chicago called Specimen Products. An interesting product that we make all the time. This is a really simple product, but it's a shelf divider that goes to Lowe's, Menards, Home Depots, and other hardware stores, basically to separate bolts. But the interesting thing about it is we buy all of the plastic from McDonald's. McDonald's recycles all their knives, forks, and spoons worldwide. They basically take it all out of the garbage, and we turn it from these pellets into this type of part. We manufacture 6 lines of Frisbee golf discs, including our own, which is Quest AT Disc Golf, but we also manufacture for 5 other companies, one based in Canada, one based in England. We manufacture toys that are biodegradable, made out of starch-based materials. It's one of our current products. We've made automotive air filters, probably 50 different models of those. So you can see we've done a lot of different things, and we're a thriving business. All of our mold building and manufacturing is done in the United States here in Antioch, Illinois. So now I'll go on to show you the OneDerBrew and how to assemble it. This is the all-new original OneDerBrew system, which is, we've been working on this for quite a while. I've worked with Dave Miller, has helped quite a bit. Al Carzonas, who actually is also an ex-Baxter engineer, and indirectly I got some help from Charlie Papazian, and I've worked with numerous home brewers and visited probably a couple hundred different breweries across the country, speaking to the brewmasters and getting their opinions on what we should do. And all of their input combined with what we can do is put together this unit. I'm going to now show you how to assemble the OneDerBrew unit. Now, all these parts would be sanitized, and the whole table and everything else. The wort has already been chilled, and it would be in the bucket, 5 gallons or 6 gallons or whatever. So you take the cone, 60-degree cone, and the gasket, which is basically has a double O-ring on both sides, seals against the inside of the cone or the outside of the cone and the inside of the bucket. Okay, so you put that in place. Then set the unit into the bucket. And we'll take the tube, this tube basically gets the air from the bottom of the bucket, and this is a pressure regulator. It's set for 15 psi, it can be left open or shut, and it can be adjusted by adjusting this little screw here. If you want less pressure, you can drop it below 15 psi. It basically goes through this port, and then this part has a double O-ring seal on the base of the connector, which is the real seal, but it's also a 3/4 or a half-inch NPT tap, so you can use any standard pipe fitting and connect it to this. So push this in, screw it in place, pretty simple. Then I'll put the pressure regulator. Normally I put Teflon tape on this, but I'm just showing you how to put it together. I'm sure you know how to do that. second pressure relief valve and connect it to here with the same system. That. I'll take the yeast extraction valve, put that on here. All of these have the half NPT opening. It's got a 3/4 inch diameter OD, so it's got a lot of clearance for yeast or for anything else. Same thing here. This is the port that you take the beer out of if you're drinking it, dispensing it, or bottling it. And then this, I've got the stand, and this is just made out of standard thick wall, 1/2 inch PVC that you can buy at any hardware store in the country. And if you want to adjust the length to whatever height you need, it costs $1.50 for a 10-foot piece. So you can take these out. Okay, we'll put that in place. And then we've got the ring, which has a channel on the inside of it that holds these two pieces together. It really doesn't do much except keep this from blowing apart. And then one side of it can be always connected. You don't have to remove that. The other side, we're going to connect now. Okay, so that goes around these. And then we'll take these stainless steel bolts, which are 1/4-20 stainless steel bolts. Put the nut on there. Eventually, we'll probably have an over-center type latch, but for right now, this is much safer. It can't really come apart, so it's not that much work to put together. And I typically take a channel lock and pull it together so I don't have to do much with the wrench. And you tighten this all the way down until they come together. Okay, and then we'll take the whole thing, shut all the valves at this point. Now I take it I have the wort in there, so you could aerate the wort however you want to do it. Typically all I do is shake it up when I have it at this point and then flip it over. So it flips over. Now we have the yeast port at the bottom, the dispensing port here, double pressure relief valve, and at this point, for now, until we make our own buckets, right now we're just using a standard off-the-shelf bucket, which could be a 3.5 gallon, 5 gallon, 6.5 gallon, or 7.5 gallon bucket. For now, I don't completely trust these buckets, so I'll put another bucket over the top of it just to make sure if it bursts, then it's added protection. It's not going to be a problem. So now when you're going to use this unit. Now I've got this part up. I'll let this sit for 4 or 5 days, and then draw the yeast out off the bottom. If I've got another OneDerBrew unit ready to go, I'll take that yeast, pitch it right into the next batch. Then I'll let it sit for a couple more days, build pressure. Now, some people will want to leave these ports open for the first stage of fermentation while the yeast is multiplying, or you can leave it closed, let it build to 15 psi for the whole thing. So what'll happen is you pull the yeast off, it'll build up to 15 psi, it'll carbonate the beer to about 3 atmospheres. Then about a week in, you transfer the whole unit into the refrigerator, and at that point you can start sampling the beer. You can, if you want to, you can add ingredients through these ports. You can shoot it into there. Say you want to add a little bit of hop extract to make the beer hoppier, or you can let all of the CO2 off and put a tube on here, and say you put 4 psi, you know, like a normal, use this thing as a normal keg, and that's it. All in one system after you brew. So you brew, The only thing you have to do is pull the yeast off, and then you consume it right out of the same container.